Utah Homestead, and today we are going to talk about 15 reasons your chickens may not be laying eggs. I have people ask me all the time, hey April, why are my chickens laying eggs? I don't know. So here's a checklist that you can go through to see if any of these things may apply to your chickens. If so, fix it. And maybe, eventually, some things may take some time, maybe you can get back to having fresh, yummy eggs every morning for breakfast. Let's go over here and get a little selfie of a little lady laying an egg right now. Let's see. She's doing her thing. So why aren't your chickens, why aren't they doing that? Why aren't they laying eggs, right? Okay. Question number one. Tip number one. Use a little chicken psychology 101 on your chickens. Just, think like a chicken. Maybe they don't know where to lay an egg, so therefore they don't lay any eggs. Maybe try putting some fake eggs, some golf balls, something like that in their nesting boxes, so when they sit down on them, they think, ooh, this feels good. I'm kind of feeling like I need to lay an egg here. And eventually they will. They'll realize, oh, this looks like a safe place. Look, there's already eggs here. This must be safe. This is a good place for me to lay my eggs and have babies. And they'll start laying their eggs. And eventually you can take the fake eggs or the golf balls or whatever you want to put in there away, and they'll continue to lay. Once they get the hang of it, they're usually pretty good at continuing. Okay, tip number two. Your chickens may not be laying eggs because maybe they have parasites. So gross, right? All chickens have parasites of some shape, form, or fashion at some point in time. They eat off the ground, they peck, they eat, dirt, and they're going to get parasites. So my advice for that would be go down to your local feed store. I get my Tractor Supply. It's called Diatomaceous Earth, or DE for short. It's awesome. You sprinkle a little bit, you follow the instructions, a certain amount in their food each day. It's a natural dewormer. It also works with mites. They may not be laying in their nesting boxes because there's mites in there. They're not going to lay where there's mites. You sprinkle it in the nesting boxes and it kills the mites, cuts back on them, and you may be able to get back to getting your eggs every day. So tip number two was treat them for mites and parasites. Okay guys, tip number three. Are your chickens stressed out? Did you know chickens get stressed out? They're very finicky and they're very skittish. That's why we say stop being a chicken. They're scared of everything. Everything stresses them out. And when they're stressed, they're not going to lay any eggs for you. Top reasons they may be stressed out. One, maybe you have too many roosters. When there's too many roosters, just your coop or your barn is not going to be a happy place. They're not going to be able to find any. If they can't get away from the roosters long enough to quietly sit on an egg to lay an egg, then you're not going to get any eggs. Number two, do you have kids who chase your chickens all the time? Are they always carrying your chickens around? And I don't mean like a pet, like calm, oh they're adorable, their best friend. I mean like kids running and being loud around them continually. Stress. See, I have too many roosters. Can you hear it? For real. I let somebody chicken sit for me one time several years ago, and there was like no eggs for those 2 weeks, and that was because their kids chased my chickens every day when they would come to feed them. It was crazy. Do you have any dogs or anything of that nature that may be stressing out your chickens? Anything that is barking continually, just upsetting them? I have goats. The goats, they're really excited, and in the mornings they're just feeling good and they want to run around, and the buck wants to headbutt any chicken that comes around him as he runs and plays. He thinks it's a game. The chickens don't find it funny, and sometimes my goats get in my nesting box stall, and that stirs up everything and keeps them from laying eggs in there too. So I have to try to keep my goats blocked out, so they can't get to where my nesting boxes are. So stress. Number three was stress. Okay, tip number four is maybe it's just because the days are shorter. As the days get shorter and there's less daylight, your chickens aren't going to lay as much. Light is what triggers your chicken's senses, its body, to lay eggs. And without that, as the days get shorter, your egg production is going to go down. A lot of people use supplemental lighting on a timer to try to kickstart that natural instinct for their chickens. I don't do that. I don't advise it. I really don't see that big of a difference in my chickens' egg production enough to worry about it. And, you know, I think that God has given us different seasons for a reason. I think when I think of winter, I think of everything slowing down and it being a time of rest. Our chickens need to rest too, I think. I think they need to have some downtime for their bodies to recuperate. Making eggs every day is, I guess, hard business. I don't know. I'm not a chicken, but I would think it would be. So I kind of believe in just letting nature take its course and being the way God intended for it to be. Chickens have been laying eggs for thousands of years without the need of supplemental lighting. Plus, you're taking a chance on possibly something catching on fire, which isn't a good idea either. So, while I wouldn't recommend it, if you must do that, make sure that you're not giving them too much light, because that can throw their system off and also create even more problems. So number 4 is that there may just be shorter days. They may just be cutting back because it's their time to rest. Number 5, what if they're molting? My chickens just molted a few months ago. I was down to getting like 3 eggs a day. I have 60 chickens. 3 eggs a day. It was crazy. So during that time, I up their protein. I buy a specific feed that is for molting. It's called Feather Fixer, I believe. Something of that nature. It has a lot higher protein. I supplement them with other forms of protein, such as sunflower seeds. They love sunflower seeds. All my animals love sunflower seeds. They're awesome. You should give them to them all the time. You can supplement them with any form of meat, your meat scraps, to get their body, give them the extra help they need to get through the molting process. It's very hard on their body. They're focusing all their energy on molting, and they have no energy left over to make eggs for you. So, the reason number 5 they're not laying eggs might be that they're molting. If you look like you could stuff a mattress with your coop, in your side of your coop, because there's so many feathers, they're probably molting. Okay. Number 6 reason why they may not be laying eggs is you may have an egg eater. I have a couple. I am a sucker for rescuing some little chickens. Anytime somebody says, I don't want my chickens anymore, would you like them? I'm like, I'm on it. Yeah, I'll be there tomorrow to pick them up. So I've done that several times. One time, I got chickens from a family friend. They were 4-H chickens. It was their 4-H chickens for a chick chain, and they had kept them, and they just really didn't evaluate, I guess, the cost that was involved with them when they got them. So I went to pick up the chickens. They were all in this little chicken tractor, and I don't know if they were getting any other food at all. So they were literally laying their eggs and then turning around and eating their eggs for the protein that they needed and for the calcium and everything else. So that was a really bad habit to break, and even over a year later, they still occasionally just can't resist the urge to eat an egg. I know which ones. I haven't narrowed down to the 4 or 5 that I got from that person. I know that those are the egg eaters. They still lay good eggs though, so they don't do it that often. I love them anyway. But you could have an egg eater. Another reason could be they could be eating eggs because they need more calcium. I buy oyster shells, also just like Tractor Supply or anywhere, and I either put those in their water, or you can just give it to them free choice in a separate little bucket. They love this stuff. They will only eat it as they need it. You can grind up your eggshells and feed that to them. You know, as you crack an egg in the morning, put your eggshell to the side, grind those up, mix it in with their feed. Just make sure you're not feeding them whole eggshells, because they're not stupid. They know it still looks like an egg, and that's just going to encourage them to keep eating eggs. So, tip number 6 would be you may have an egg eater. Reason number 7 that your chickens may not be laying eggs for you is water. Water, water, water. Lots of clean water. Are you giving them enough fresh, clean water every day? I read not too long ago that if a chicken goes one day without water, that could equal 24 days of egg production that you will not get. So, one day that you let their water go dry can mean 24 days before you get the next egg from those chickens. Wow. Chickens need so much water. I mean, they drink so much water. You would not think a little animal could drink so much, but they do. Clean water. You got to keep their water clean. It is so important for their health that you take the time to clean out their water bowls and give them fresh water every single day. Got to do it. Water. That was number 7 reason they may not be laying eggs. Okay, guys. Reason number 8 they may not be laying eggs is you can't just buy chickens once and expect to get eggs for the rest of your life. Every year, a chicken's egg production goes down. So they say after 3 years, an egg-laying hen is really not of much use anymore. I mean, they still will lay eggs, but it will not be an everyday occurrence. You have to keep a revolving door of new chickens if you want to always have fresh eggs. So we just try to keep ours in a rotating cycle of ages. Make sure that you always have some different age chickens, and you will always have enough fresh eggs. Okay, tip number 9 is maybe it's too hot, maybe it's too cold. The weather does affect their egg production. When it's really hot out, you know, maybe they'll slow down, maybe they're not. It takes a lot of work for them to lay an egg. When it's really cold, they're using up all their energy just trying to stay warm. It's going to be hard for them to have any extra energy left over if you don't supplement them correctly to be able to make an egg for you. I don't really have any problems throughout the cold weather. I have a lot of Buff Orpingtons. They just, to me, they are awesome. They do so good in cold weather here in Tennessee. Maybe that's part of the reason why, but I really think we give them lots of different grains and cracked corn in the wintertime to keep them warm so their body doesn't have to work extra hard. But maybe that's reason number 9. You may not be getting any eggs. Maybe it's too hot. Maybe it's too cold. I don't know. Okay, reason number 10 is maybe you have poor quality feed, or they're just not getting a high enough protein level. I never ever go under 16%, ever. I really prefer 18%, but I don't always do that. It depends, especially in the summertime when they're out eating lots of bugs and yummy things. They don't really need that. They're getting the extra protein for themselves then, but in the wintertime, and especially when they're molting, they need extra protein. I've also bought lots of different brands of feed that have, it was all clumped up and it had mold in it. It was not a good quality feed, and that makes all the difference in the world for your chickens. I don't think that God created chickens to eat food out of a bag that we give them. So I am pro free range, I guess you would say. I think God gave them everything that they need to just be healthy little chickens, and it's all right out there in your pasture, in your backyard. And if you don't have a big enough space for them to get that stuff, then you need to supplement them. Mealworms and grass clippings, grains, and any other types of little bugs that you could, give them. Berries. Whenever we have so many blackberries around here, we save tons of those as we pick them throughout the summertime and give them to our chickens. We also, any vegetables that come out of the garden that we aren't necessarily excited about eating, the tomato that's too ripe, all of that goes to the chickens. All of our scraps, all of our extra, peas and green beans and carrots and whatever, lettuce and all of that goes to our chickens. They need supplement. They're not going to thrive on just the food that they are going to get out of a bag from a feed store. So tip number 10 would be that they're not getting enough nutrients from the feed that you're giving them. Okay, tip number 11, if your chickens are free range, you may be getting plenty of eggs and not even know it. Free range chickens are just notorious for laying all over the place. Mine have laid in some crazy places. We found a whole nest of them inside of a coiled up air hose not too long ago at our garage. I had no idea that they were laying there. So if you have free range chickens, you may be getting eggs. They may just be hidden. It's like every day is Easter whenever you have free range chickens, and every day is Easter egg hunt, and you just need to go observe and watch where they're going, where they're hanging out. Kind of notice when one disappears and follow it, and you just may find all the missing eggs that you have ever wanted. Okay, tip number 12 is predators. I can tell you firsthand, this is a huge, I usually know when something's going on and I really need to keep a closer eye on the barn, on the coop, and that is predators. We have had such a problem with possums eating our eggs, and snakes in the summertime and the fall, but our number one thing has been possums. Over and over and over again, big fat possum is eating up all my eggs. So we have a critter cage catcher, I don't know what it's called, that we lure those little guys into and rehome them. And that's something you just have to really pay attention to. Maybe even you could put it like a little, we've done this, put a trail cam beside your nesting boxes and just wait at night. That night times and early in the morning are the perfect times to catch whatever sneaky little creature is eating your eggs. Okay, tip number 13 is maybe your coop's not big enough. Maybe your area that they are in is not big enough. Maybe they're bored. Maybe they have totally depleted the soil where they can't even peck around and they're bored, and this can cause sickness. When there's too many of them, it can cause them to be really cranky, and when they're cranky, they're stressed, and then they're not going to lay eggs. It all kind of feeds in together. But my advice would be is if you have a kind of fixed area where your chickens are, it's either that you move it around from time to time, or you give them supervised free range time. Like my favorite time to let my chickens free range is in the evenings because they've already laid all their eggs. Well, I don't have to go searching for eggs. If I let them out in the morning, they're gonna lay eggs everywhere. If I let them out at it gets dark at 6 o'clock right now here, so if I let them out at 4, they're gonna have an hour or two of free range time, and then they will come right back in and put themselves on roost. And to me, that's just the easiest thing to do. They don't, even if you only let them out 30 minutes before time for them to go roost, that's better than nothing. They will really look forward to it, and that could really, really, really improve your egg production and your quality of eggs if they're getting a little time to free range. Okay, tip number 14. This may be one of the biggest ones for me that I forget to do it, and then I realize as soon as I do this, wow, that made such a big difference. I've got to remember to do this more, and that is, you may not be getting all the eggs that you want because your nesting boxes are dirty. Chickens are very picky little animals. They don't like to be dirty. They don't like dirty spaces. They want their little areas to be clean, and especially they want them to be clean and mite free. Whenever they're climbing in that nesting box, they are thinking of one thing, and that is that they are wanting to choose a place to have babies. I mean, that's the reason why they lay eggs, is because even though they may not be broody, their instinct is, I'm laying my egg here because I want to have a baby here. And when your nesting boxes are dirty, they are not going to lay an egg in it. So my advice would be at least once a month to clean. First of all, would be to have as easy clean nesting boxes as possible, and once a month clean them out down to bare nothing. Have you a cleaner that you can spray clean in, wipe out with some old cloths, add all new shavings or all new straw in there, sprinkle some DE in each Diatomaceous Earth in each nesting box, and I'm telling you, they will go crazy. It's like Christmas morning for chickens. Every single time I clean out the nesting boxes, they get so excited. I mean, they just love it so much. Also, they love it. I don't know. I promise you, if you don't do anything else, do that one thing and see if it doesn't make a little bit of a difference. Clean nesting boxes. Okay, guys. Reason number 15 you may not be getting enough eggs or any eggs is, what if your chickens are sick and you don't know it? Do your research, find out what's abnormal behaviors for your chickens. Spend some quiet time just observing them, watching them, see if anybody acts sick or acts lethargic, just doesn't seem to be acting their normal, adorable little chicken selves. And if so, you can research their symptoms. You can, I give mine apple cider vinegar every single day. It really works. I don't think that I can remember I've ever had a sick chicken, and that's from giving them apple cider vinegar every day in their water and the Diatomaceous Earth. All those things really do help. I think if you're keeping them as healthy as possible on a daily basis, they're less likely to get sick. So reason number 15 that you may not be getting any breakfast from your chickens is, what if they're sick? Find out, watch them, observe them, and if they are, try to take care of it as soon as possible before it spreads to the rest of your flock. Okay guys, that was 15 reasons why you may not getting any eggs from your adorable little chickens. So you can use this kind of a checklist. If any of these apply to you, get busy, start working on making those changes, and hopefully before long you will be getting, let's see if my little lady's still over there, your chickens will be doing this right here, be laying you some breakfast. Yum yum.